Now, I would like to invite Bwana Justus Nyang'aya. He is the country director of Amnesty International to give us a few words. So let's appreciate him as he comes to the floor.
Thank you very much, Wawa. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is well spent today and yesterday, but completely gone. I am going to take a very short time to say a few things about Amnesty International, but to also appreciate the participants and some people as well. We are an organization that is a membership organization. Amnesty International belongs to the public. It belongs to people. And we have members, we have activists, we have supporters. We have over 7.5 million people around the world that uses our research to lobby and campaign around human rights violations. I would like to invite you to become activists. That is really what we place on the table globally, worldwide. Last week, 7 human rights defenders that had been arrested and detained by the Turkish government were released because of your campaigns. We campaign in Kenya, we campaign in Africa, we campaign globally, wherever it is that there are human rights violations. And I would like to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, to register as activists, to be part of the 7.5 million so that we have a big voice. I watched and listened to debaters this afternoon and this evening with so much nostalgia. They were quick on their feet, had great gift of the gab, and the crossfire play of words was so beautiful. And I said that this is only the 6th InterVarsity Human Rights Debate. We started this in 2012. And I have seen so many people are interested in getting involved. I want to thank the 42 teams that participated and the 15 universities. When we started in 2012, we had a small number of people. Today, we involve over 1,000 people interested in talking about their issues. And this is, for me, a great initiative that I would like to urge all of us to get involved in. We run student human rights clubs through Scora, and a lot of Scora students are here Those who started in 2011, 2010, they are still here. And one of them actually sits at the global youth strategy, and that's Sandra over there. That's Sandra. And one of them is actually one of the most senior, most leaders actually at the Amnesty leadership level. That is Wawa. These are people that started and engaged their comrades and their colleagues to want to hold the leadership to account. We talk about human rights. We talk about rights, but we also talk about responsibility. I want to tell you a little story, ladies and gentlemen, with a disclaimer. If you are under 16 years old, please don't listen to this. But I want to talk about analysis. I want to talk about serious reflection of issues. And I want to talk about second opinion. There's this man that felt a lot of pain in his lower abdomen. The pain was so excruciating, he felt that he needed the doctor to sort it out. And so several times he went to the doctor. And the doctor said, you know, I think we need to do something. Tomorrow we'll take you, we'll admit you and perform surgery on you. And what is really making, creating this pain is with your balls. So we'll take them out. Surgery was done, and his balls were taken out. And so, after he had recuperated and he was feeling better, he was released from hospital. And he said, I need to spoil myself a little bit. And he went into a shop. He said, you know, I need to buy a shirt. He looked at the shirt. The guy that was helping him said, this is a good shirt. You wear size 17. This is good for you. And why don't you also take a pair of long trousers? And he accepted. He wanted to spoil himself. And some socks. This will be very good. And he said, yes. And he said, you know what? In the section of undergarments, I think you also need to take some boxers. Don't wear the pants that really hold you tight. Because if you do that, you will feel so much pain in your lower abdomen that you will think you are dying. So what you need to do is wear boxers. I looked at the man and he said, is that true? Or I said, yes, that's true. Ladies and gentlemen, as a man, you think of what was going on in this guy's mind after he has gone through an operation, And instead of changing the undergarments, he went for a treatment that was a finality. And the shopkeeper looked at him and said, "Is there anything wrong?" And he said, "Yes. I did not ask for a second opinion. I did not analyze. I did not think through what I was going through." Ladies and gentlemen, we are going through a crisis in this country right now because we don't argue like I saw you arguing. You don't come through with objectivity. But people are emotional and people take decisions because somebody has said so or because they have not reflected it badly. They have reflected it badly. And as young people, we rely on you to walk with us, to take us through a crisis in a way that we get through safely on the other side. Right now, there's so much hatred. When you see and hear that a police has gunned down a demonstrator, you say, serve them right. But you don't stop and say and think like Christian Normola did in 1945 when the Nazis were overwhelming people with cruelty. He is one of the only few voices that said and wrote a poem that is still famous to date, that because I wasn't a socialist, I did not speak. When they came for the communists, I did not speak because I wasn't a communist. When they came for the capitalists, I did not speak because I wasn't a communist. In 2010, when they came for the Somalis, I did not speak because I wasn't a Somalian. When Somalis were taken into stadium, reflective and reminiscence of the 1950s, we said served them right. Now, when the police are coming for certain communities, you say serve them right. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to stop and say, no, there are laws, there are rules, there are safeguards that need to be observed in this country. Let us only stay with that. As Amnesty International, we will continue to do research on the issues that affect each one of us, irrespective of tribe, of race, of communities. And we will reveal them with objectivity so that we look after everybody, not just a few communities. Our fate and future are in your hands. Last year, I am allowed to announce this because it had already been announced. But since the judges are going to announce this, announce the winners of this year, I can acknowledge and recognize that last year, the winners were University of Nairobi School of Law. I'd like to acknowledge that. And we had winners. Is Naomi Ndinda here? I saw her here. Oh, she's out there. Very small woman with power. Lillian Chepteling. Is Lillian around? Oh, Lillian, please just stand and wave. Yes. Those are one of the human rights defenders that we recognize worthy of our mention. Felix Simba, is Felix around? Oh, yes, that's Felix. Felix, those were winners of last year, but people that have turned around, turned themselves into human rights defenders, working for you as volunteers without pay. Brian, where's Brian? Brian can teach? Yes. Brian, just stand up again, Brian. Yes. And enjoy the moment. And we have a PAC, Oscar. Oscar is over there, yes. I saw him. And I would like to urge you to continue working with your colleagues so that you work together to help in areas where we have human rights violations. And because of you and others around the world, we get money, people give us money as a contribution. And 85% of our budget, global budget, is given by individuals. We really do not accept money from donors, public donors like DFID or CEDA or USAID for work around campaigns and research. But we can accept only 11 to 15% for human rights education. Charles Nyukuri is in charge of our human rights education department. And is Charles here? Charles is over there. And Charles is the one that is in charge of funding this with the money that come to us through some of the donors, but from individuals. And enable some of you to have internship at Amnesty International and other places. I want to very quickly thank the partners, the Inspiration Kenya, Haki Jamii, IHRD, and PAC University. When I drove in, I read somewhere that here we make leaders. Leaders have been made here. I want to thank PAC University for not only hosting this, but making it so convenient to the processes that they gave us over 20 classrooms. Nowhere else have we gotten that number of classrooms for the processes that we are going through. I want to thank PAC University and the management. Ladies and gentlemen, have a very good evening, and may the best win. Thank you very much.